All right, good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today or this evening, wherever you might be coming in from. My name is Matt Cornell, and I'm the Associate Director for Student Services at the Saunders College of Business at RIT. So today we have another one of our MBA and Grad Chat series sessions regarding career and co-op opportunities for your graduate education. I'm joined by Julian Hunerfouth, who is one of our assistant directors in the Office of Cooperative Education and Career Services. So he's going to run through some of the key details and emphasize some of the awesome things that we offer from a career and co-op perspective, as I know many students, particularly our international students at the graduate level, enjoy that co-op opportunity. Just two logistical pieces. If you do need closed captioning, you put that into place at the bottom of your Zoom screen. There's a link there where you can do that. It says show captions. And then please feel free to use the chat feature as well for any questions that you have. We welcome those, so please do that, and we'll certainly address any questions you have. But without further ado, I'll turn it over to Julian.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. So as Matt said, I'm gonna chat with you a little bit about our co-op program and our office in general, the types of supports that we have in place to help you succeed with your careers after you graduate RIT. So this is a picture of our office. We're actually located in the same building as admissions. And our office hours are from 8:30 to 4:30 every single day. We are actually one of the largest career centers out there because since we're a co-op university, RIT has made some significant investments in developing our career center. And so we have advisors in specialized in all of the different fields that you can meet with, for your search for co-op and for full-time jobs. RIT started its co-op program back in 1912. So, we have been doing co-ops for more than 100 years now. It started with 32 students, and now we have over 3,000, almost 4,000 students go out on co-op every year. And we have a database of companies of over 2,000 companies and nonprofits. We are one of the largest and oldest co-op programs in the world. And that has to do with the fact that we have so many majors at RIT that have co-op required. And for all of the majors that co-op is not required, we highly encourage students to do co-ops anyway. So what is co-op? We define co-op as full-time paid employment in your field of study. And so for that, you need to work about 35 to 40 hours a week. During the time that you're doing your co-op, usually you're not taking any classes. So you're taking a break from classes to go and get some hands-on experience and to put all of that knowledge that you're picking up in the classroom to use in the real world. While you're on co-op, you don't pay tuition. And so it's a time that can help you a little bit financially as well, because you're making a salary during this time without having to pay any extra tuition fees. You're going to be supervised and evaluated by a manager in the workplace. So that is one of the requirements that we make of companies, that they need to assign a specific manager to you that's registered with our university, so that person can provide us a real evaluation of your work during your co-op. For graduate students, most of the time, those co-ops are going to be a single term. The most common term for graduate co-ops is, of course, going to be the summer, but it is also possible to do double terms. So you can do, for example, a summer, fall, or a spring, summer kind of opportunity, if that is what you want to do, or if that's the opportunity that, comes about for you. It's incorporated into the RIT curriculum. And by that, we mean that our academic advisors are really good at fitting it into your curriculum. And so that is something important to keep in mind as a graduate student, because as I said, most of our undergraduate programs have co-ops that are required. As a graduate student, your co-op is not required. So you can graduate without doing a co-op. But if you want to do one, it's important that you talk to your academic advisor from the beginning to let her know that that is your plan so that she can then help you structure your course load in a way that will make it possible for you to not only do that co-op when you want to do it, but also be able to come back and have the right courses that you need to be able to continue on with your degree and have those courses be available so that you can still graduate in a timely manner. And so really important that you guys let us know if you are going to want to do a co-op from when you first start your degree here at RIT. Some of the benefits of co-op are that they can help you define your career path after graduation. So especially in business with a lot of your degrees that you're going to have in the College of Business, those can be applied to any industry, right? And there's also multiple job functions that you might be able to do with your degree from a Sanders, from Sanders College. And so co-op can help you sort of identify if an industry is right for you, or if a type of job function that you think that you might have an interest in is the right path for you, if it's something that you enjoy doing, right? Because it'll give you an actual opportunity to try it out. It can also help you apply the theory that you're learning in your classes. And so it makes things kind of like sink in a lot more, right? So because you will have just taken some of these classes and you're going to apply that knowledge in the co-op. And so that can help, solidify that knowledge even more. Additionally, another benefit of doing the co-op is that when you come back from your co-op and then you're seeing new topics in the classes, things are also going to make a lot more sense because you can relate some of those things that you're learning in the classroom to some of the issues that you might have seen in your co-op work, or some of the challenges that you might have had, and understand how some of the things that you're learning could have helped you to solve a problem at work or something like that. You're going to be earning a reasonable salary, which can help finance your education. So that's also a perk. It can help you network with team members and professionals in the company. As you know, networking is a big component of job searching. And so being able to go in the industry that you have an interest in and meeting people who are already in that industry and having those connections is going to make it easier for you to then find your full-time job when you're ready to graduate. And it can also help you stand out to recruiters when you're looking for your full-time job, because it shows that you have some extra work experience on your resume, and it can help you also by giving you actual projects and specific examples of how you have applied some of those skills that you're learning through your graduate degree in the real world. And those can be very beneficial, not only for your resume writing, but also for your behavioral-based questions when you're interviewing for a job. So the responsibility for obtaining a co-op is primarily yours, right? So we are not a placement office. We don't assign co-ops to students, right? So it's important that you are regularly checking for co-op postings and for on-campus interviews that are happening at RIT. It's important that you attend the career fairs and the networking events that we put together for you. It's also very important. Another part of your responsibility is making sure that you are reporting your co-op to the Career Services Office, and that you complete the experience in full. So once you have made a commitment to a company for a co-op, we expect you to fulfill the entire co-op because you've made that commitment with that company. To be eligible for co-op, so you must be in good academic standing. So you need to have a minimum of a 3.0 GPA, and you must have completed one academic year. And so by one academic year, we mean 2 semesters with at least 9 credits each semester. Yeah. And then once you've done that, you can go on co-op. Now, international students will need work authorization from RIT's International Student Services Office, and will not be able to, definitely not be able to work until they have met that minimum requirement of the 2 full-time academic terms. Now, some of the employer feedback that we get is that employers think that our co-op students are highly innovative, they're critical thinkers, reliable, that you have the ability to pick up new technology and skills, you're adaptable, and you're ethical. And part of this comes from the fact that the way that our classes are taught at RIT and the way that our professors go about developing their courses are geared to giving you all of these skills, right? At RIT, even though you're gonna be in the College of Business, you are gonna be exposed to multiple different technologies. You're going to learn how to use different key programs. You might even learn a little coding for some of your classes, because it's the world that we're living in right now, right? So all companies right now have a need for technology and need for people who understand technology. Critical thinking is also a key component of what's part of all of our classes. We want people who are able to think outside the box, find new and innovative solutions to problems, etc. So the combination of the in-classroom work that you're going to be doing and the things that you're learning and the way that our professors teach our courses are a good combination to give you all of these skills. Now, in terms of growing industries that we're seeing, so there's a lot of growth in the solar and wind energy, anything that has to do with statistics and data analytics, software development, information security, game design and development. And if you see that like, oh my gosh, but that doesn't look like marketing or that doesn't look like finance, I'm not talking about job functions. I am talking about industries, right? And all of these industries have the need for all of those job functions, right? Because every company needs finance people, every company needs accountants, every company needs marketing, every company needs operations, supply chain, right? And so just when you're thinking about when you're going to be looking for positions, these are some of the industries you might want to take a look at as well as also healthcare. So how we can assist you. So we do individual career advisement. And so we invite all students to come meet with the career advisor once you start your program here at RIT. I advise students in the MBA program, as well as the Masters in Supply Chain, the Masters in Business Analytics, and the Masters in Technology, Innovation, Management, and Entrepreneurship, the TIME degree. And so if that is one of your degrees, make sure that you come and say hi once you start your program. My counterpart, Natasha House, advises all of the other graduate programs. It's important that you interact with us early. And that's in part because of how a lot of companies do recruiting. In the graduate business world, it's very common that companies recruit a whole year in advance. And so you might see that the fall career fair or like of your first fall at RIT is when many companies will be recruiting for the summer of the following year when you would be doing your co-op, right? So it's important that you come and see us early so that we can help you with your resume, with your elevator pitch, prepare your job seeking skills, make sure that you're up to date with everything that you need, so that you can participate in our career fair and hopefully get an offer for an internship for the next year. We also offer career workshops, and so we do lots of that, especially leading up to career fair to get people ready. We do resume review sessions. So usually the week before the career fair, you will see us at the college reviewing resumes, but you can come for resume reviews in our office any time of the year because we're always available with our drop-in hours, which we have drop-in hours every day of the week. We also can help with mock interviews, and so you can organize or schedule a mock interview with your advisor, or you can participate in our mock interview days that we also do every semester, where we invite some of our employer partners to come and help our students practice for interviews. We can also help you with your job search strategy. So thinking about what industry you're going to be targeting, thinking about what job function you're interested in, and what will be the best way to position yourself or to craft your resume to make sure that the recruiters for that field identify you as the right candidate. We can also help you and show you how to do employer outreach. As I mentioned a couple times, we do our career fairs. So we have a big fall career fair and a big spring career fair that both of those are campus wide. And usually in those fairs, so like the spring career fair, we just had it a couple weeks ago and we had 216 employers. The fall career fair, we had 250, because that's usually a little bigger than the spring one. So lots of good opportunities to come and meet employers and network with them and apply for jobs. We also have on-campus recruitment throughout the year, which means that there's companies that actually come to our IT to do information sessions or tabling at the colleges. And so you'll get, emails advertising those visits in your inbox every week. And so you know who's going to be on campus and you can go and connect with them. And if they're doing interviews on campus, then you can interview on campus with them as well. Additionally, in the College of Business, we have the accounting career fair every fall. So for anybody who's interested in the accounting industry, that's also a great opportunity. And finally, we have a system that's called Career Connect, which is where you're going to find everything that's related to careers. So it's the place where you're going to be able to make appointments with your career services coordinator. It's the place where you're going to be able to look for positions and apply for jobs. It's the place where you're going to find all of our workshops and everything that we have going on. It is also the website where you're going to be able to find all of the information sessions that our employers are doing. So anything that has to do with careers, Career Connect is going to be your one stop shop, basically. And now I am happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thanks, Julian. That was fantastic. So yeah, folks, any questions that you all have? Pretty good attendance for this session. So definitely happy to answer any questions. If you want to unmute yourself and ask or throw any questions in the chat, we're happy to address those.
So I am a fall 24 MS student. I'm waiting for my visa application, basically visa to be processed. I've got my I-20 and all. I think the semester will start somewhere around August this year. So I'm looking for somewhere where I could work part-time on campus. So hence how do I go about that process? Like, someone told me that I should start contacting people at RIT immediately so that, by the time I reach there, I have a job in hand.
So once you are actually registered for classes, then you will automatically be fed into Career Connect and an account will be created for you. And then you'll be able to log into Career Connect. In Career Connect, it's also the place where you'll find all of the on-campus employment opportunities that we have. You can filter for on-campus jobs. And there are hundreds of job opportunities on campus. Usually there's more jobs on campus than students to take those jobs. So it's important that you just wait until you're registered, and then usually it'll take maybe up like a few days, up to a week, for your Career Connect account to be activated. But once it's activated, you can start applying for things. Additionally, if what you're looking for is for like a graduate assistantship or something like that, sometimes those aren't on Career Connect, and you might need to like network with some professors and stuff like that. I would say that, I mean, and Matt, correct me if I'm saying anything wrong, but usually I feel like a lot of that matching happens during like your orientation week and your first couple weeks at RIT. It's easier to make those connections in person than trying to do them via email. So that can be also like a thing that you need to think about when you come here. But you can definitely start applying for things on Career Connect as soon as you register your classes and start applying for things like that. And you can work up to 20 hours on your first semester on campus.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. And yes, that's right. So with the assistantships, we do the pairing at orientation. So you will complete an application during orientation, and then my colleague Peggy Terrell will pair you with the appropriate faculty based on your background and interests. And then those positions are 8 to 12 hours a week. So that it's typically more in the 8 to 10 hour range. So that in turn still can allow you to work an additional 10 hours a week elsewhere. So you can certainly seek out other opportunities as well, in addition to the grad student worker position. Many of those are in support of faculty research. So there are different pieces and skill sets that the faculty are looking for, whether that's a little bit of background in R and Python or strong math skills, those types of things. That can vary from faculty to faculty, but generally speaking, a lot of it is research oriented. But yeah, great question. Other questions that folks have?
I got a question. Am I audible? I hope the background noise is not disturbing.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, you're fine.
Perfect. Yeah, sorry, I'm at the airport. Yeah, so
That's
my
okay.
query was wonderful. So my query was with respect to the co-op programs. Is it easier? Actually, I'm just again reframing the question because I just got confused. So what I want to understand is, let's say if I do an internship outside as opposed to doing a co-op program, would it be more easier to get into a co-op program, or is it easier if I just apply for an internship with a organization, any other company that might be available that has an opening, let's say?
So
And what is the probability of you? Yeah,
so
no, that's pretty much the crux of the question.
we use the term internship and co-op pretty interchangeably. So the difference is that in some other universities, what internship means is that it's something that you're doing that is for credit. So you're actually paying for university credits, and most of those internships tend to be part-time, so just a few hours a week. And so like we don't have that at RIT. We have the co-op program. And so, but as long as whatever you're doing is full-time, paid, and related to your field of study, it doesn't matter what the employer calls it. They can call it an internship, they can call it a co-op, it can be contract position. Like it doesn't matter what it's called, as long as it meets the requirements of a co-op, it will be a co-op. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, to an extent. So basically, it is helping build on the college credits as well as work experience in the market as well,
Yes.
right?
And of course, if you have some outside work experience from before you start your degree here, that will also help you, right? Because that already is helping you build your resume. And so that will make you even more interesting to some of the companies that are looking for co-ops.
Sure, makes sense. Yeah, that answers my question. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
And just to reinforce a one piece is at the graduate level, a co-op is not required. It is an option, but it's not required. So I just want to be clear on that, especially for those who joined a little bit late. So it's optional. Now I will say many students, as again, especially international students, take advantage of it, but it's not a requirement. So if you're coming in with significant work experience, I'd still consider it, particularly if you're coming from an international university and place it into the US, because that can help. But again, it's not necessarily something that you have to do. So that then goes to the point of if you're doing a co-op for a traditional one-year MS program, that program will be extended by a semester in most cases. So you would do a co-op after 2 semesters in the summer, and then you would finish in the following fall term. So it would be more like 15, 16 months as opposed to 12 months. So just be mindful of that. Most students are totally fine with that, and you should be. You're getting experience, but I just want to be clear on that as well.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep. What else? Other questions? Great one so far, but happy to address anything else. Okay, all right. So thank you again, Julian, for jumping on this morning. Really appreciate your time. Just as an update for the attendees, we do have 2 more sessions coming up over the next week or so. We have one specific webinar that we're hosting on Wednesday for our global supply chain management program. Now, when I say that, it's more of a talk from an industry professional in supply chain. So even if you're thinking MBA or something, a different program, but support, you may have interest in supply chain from a career perspective, I would certainly encourage you to attend, because it is not going to be an information session per se. It's going to be more of a talk, some questions related to the industry, highlights of what's going on in the industry now, things like that. So certainly feel free to attend that. That is 9:30 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. And then I'll be hosting another Ask Me Anything. I am going to have to push that back. It was scheduled for this Thursday, but I'm going to have to adjust that date to probably next week. So, but keep an eye out on those. We'll send obviously emails out on that stuff going forward. But again, please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions. We're happy to connect. But yeah, so we'll wrap up the session now, and we appreciate your time, and thanks again, Julian. But have a good evening or morning for wherever you are, and we'll see you soon.
Everybody.
Thank you.